Assalamu alaikum. Very good evening. This is TANZILA ZAMAN from Skill Excellence, co-founder. And today is very special day, International Mother Tongue Day. And we are very delighted to observers from all over the world. And today, another remarkable day for Skill Excellence to introduce our Teachers Registration Day. So we had an amazing event over afternoon and now had a little break and now we start for the adult discussion where all diverse or amazing speakers are here. Also, after that, we have another kids show we will play. So let's introduce all wonderful, diverse speakers tonight. And all are amazing well-wisher of mine. They loves me and we have a wonderful relation each other. That's why we are feeling very good to talk about matters of diversity. Let's introduce one by one. Here I can see my wonderful sister Farhana. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, Tanzila.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I am welcoming Mikelini, my beautiful sister of BME.
Hi everyone. I'm Michaeline. Nice to see you all.
Another sister, Princess Moderian. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you. So I am bringing another sister, Nasima Apu. Nasima, I can see your face, Apu. Assalamu alaikum, Nasima Apu. Another beautiful sister, Meghna Apu. Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam and good evening to you, Tanzila, and everybody as well.
Thank you.
It's nice to have the invitation.
Yes, the wonderful man. Over the few years, we know each other. Is wonderful mentor, supporter of Bank of Idea Tanzila. Thank you, Philip, for all the time our well-wisher. Thank you.
You're very welcome, and thank you for having me on your show tonight.
Thank you. And Rotimi. Thank you very much, Rotimi. Have a good evening. How are you?
Very well, Susandia. Wan Shao Hao. Good evening, everybody. Pleased to be with you.
Thank you. Hello, Nasima Apu. Assalamu alaikum. I said you salam. Did you hear, Apu? Apu? I think it's a network problem. Never mind. So today I would like to invite my sister Mikelini and Farhana to be doing the hosting and discuss all about the power of diversity. Also along with my wonderful presenter, sister Meghna Uddin, because I would like to you guys take the platform, and I am here one of the discussers, but I want you to do host, please. Mikelini, Farhana, and Meghna. I start with me. Mikelini, sister, go on, please.
Hello, Tanzila. Can you hear me now?
Appa, now, the network may be problem, Appa. Maybe
okay.
Network problem.
Okay, today is a great day. It's the day of International Mother's Language. It's a powerful day. It's a day to be proud of your own cultural heritage, of your language, of who you are, and to be proud of that. And for so many of us, we in our workplace, in our personal life, and all sorts, we end up not using our mother tongue. We sort of, and it could be lost. So this is a great day. We want to thank Tanzila Zaman, who does such an excellent job right across the community, for holding this wonderful webinar. And I think we should go around and introduce ourselves around. So I'll start off with the men. I'll get the men to start first. If we could go to Philip Chan, could you tell the audience who you are, please?
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Philip Chan. I'm known internationally in 193 countries as the 10 second maths expert in the world. I'm also a business global connector, and I'm also a book mentor to teach people how to actually become an author. I work together with two of my colleagues, Myron Leboshi and the DVG Star Publishing Company. 3 years ago, our two youngest published authors, a 3.5-year-old girl and a 4-year-old boy. Since then, we got 3 other children aged 3 now have published the books. And also I work across the board from age 3 to 93.
Okay, thank you. Professor Rotimi Jaisimi, it's a pleasure to have you both here as men to share in this great day. Would you introduce yourself, Professor Jaisimi?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Rotimi Jayesimi. I'm the Associate Medical Director for Patient Safety at one of the NHS hospitals. In addition to that, I'm a consultant in obstetrics and gynecology. That is, I look after women. In addition, I'm also adjunct professor of law at the University of Ibadan in my homeland, Nigeria. I'm also the vice chair of the Dame Health Collaborative, uh, a charity organization based in the United Kingdom. I am the chief executive officer of Trojan Medical Group, which is a medical infrastructure development group trying to develop healthcare systems in Africa. Good evening. Pleased to be with you.
Okay, it's fantastic to have you here. And so if I can go straight across and I can ask Manara Meghana to kindly introduce herself.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Yeah, my name's Minara Udin. A lot of people know me as Meghna because of the media-related work that I've done and the hosting and presenting. I have quite a few professional hats. I do a lot of youth and community work, not only in East London, but across London as well. I'm part of some organizations, community-based organization. I'm also a trustee for an East London-based organization called NUARC. I'm a co-founder of my own charity, Just Smiles Original, that raises awareness on homelessness, youth homelessness, adult, and also we do campaigns, as well as I'm connected to some amazing groups in Bangladesh as well, with some amazing foundation schools and other connections. It's such a privilege to be here because we know Tanzila's passion for language and diversity and everything. So yes, like I said, I have an array of professional hats, but it will be an interesting conversation today, definitely, and celebrate Mother Language Day as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And so we go across to Saida Nasima. Saida.
Oh, hello, assalamu alaikum to everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me in this event. And especially, I want to thanks to Tanzila because she's very much passionate about our cultural activities, and especially.
I think Saida is having slight problems, so please bear with us. We will get back to her, and we will be able for her to introduce herself properly. You know, this is network, this is technology. So we go to Her Royal Highness Princess Meridian Adine to introduce herself.
Thank you so much, my sister Michaeline. A big thank you to our dear sister Tanzila for the great job that she does, and of course, high royal salutations to everybody here, particularly my royal brother, Professor Rotimi Jaisimi. When we talk about mother tongue, it's very close to my heart because apart from being a direct granddaughter of a king, I am also a cultural ambassador for my kingdom and my tribe. And we know that language is very key when it comes to your identity. It tells us who you are or where you're from. So it's great to have this conversation, and I'm very honored to be a part of this on International Mother Tongue Day. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you for being here. And Farhana, Saida, I know, I will come back to you in 1 minute.
Yeah.
I know. Give me 1 minute and I'll come back to you. Just let your technology get a little bit stabilized. Okay, give me 1 second. Farhana Zaman, can you introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, Micheline. What an honor to be on. Sorry, what an honor to be speaking at the same platform with the princess. So that was nice, and thank you so much, Tanzila. Like, you're amazing. I've known you for a good few years, and you know your spirit hasn't faded away. And I wish you all the best, and you know hopefully you can continue and do more projects and programs like this. I'm especially happy to be here today because, of course, it's International Mother Tongue Day. And my background, well, I have few leadership roles in like different NGOs, and like I chair in few places, but my professional is teaching. And what inspired me to go into teaching was Bangladesh. So in one of my visits to Bangladesh, I wanted to stay a bit longer, and then I had the opportunity to teach in a school, and it was one of my best working experience ever, and that's how I got into teaching. And I'm very honored and happy to be amongst you all, wonderful guests, diverse group, absolutely diverse and beautiful guests.
Thank you for being here. So we'll come back to Saida. Sorry about the technology. Saida, welcome. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Yes. Hello. Yeah, my name is Saida Nasima, and I'm 6, to be honest with you, and especially for my tongue. I used to run community in Green Light Youth Club next to my home, women's activities classes, and also I set up a Bengali clubs, especially Shobuzkuri Bangla School. So since 2009, I run this club. Due to pandemic last year's March, we had to shut down. So it's not open yet. So maybe hopefully everything will come down and we can open our Bangla class again. And I want to especially give thanks to Tanzila, because she's very much passionate about Bangla, and how to she always try to distribute our cultural activities and culture, especially with kids. So I'm very much thankful and to Tanzila. And also I want to give you all, a special guest is coming today, so I want to give you all thanks. And I'm very much pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, before we even start the show, we just really wanted to say a big thank you to Tanzila, because we are in a new period in regards to the COVID, the pandemic changes, politics. There's so much that's going on, and I think this year the whole theme is about fostering lingualism for inclusion in education and society, and I think that is so powerful. And for Tanzila to actually bring us together to talk about it is really good. It will help on so many levels. It will help children to know that they should be proud of who they are and not be ashamed of their language if it's included in school. So I'm just gonna go to you, Tanzila, and ask you, you are the one who are, skill excellence. What make you decide to do this? Because this is so powerful to have it in schools. It doesn't matter whether it's a Yoruba language, whether whatever language it is, it's Pakistani, the Urdu, whatever it is, that it should be part of the school according to the demographics. Why did you decide to bring us all together? Because for many, they don't even remember that this is a powerful day.
Thank you, my beautiful Michelini sister. I'm so proud of you. Every work you do, however you praise about me, actually I can start praising you, how appreciating me since I think quite few years. I think 4 or 5 years we know each other, and
more than that. Don't say the yes, but it's more than that. And I'll introduce myself after you. I want you to be the queen of this, and then I will introduce myself.
Oh, thank you. Because honestly speaking, this show is all about my heart. Because everyone, each of you, I said you, Farhana, Megnapu, Sasimapu, they are telling about my work. So the thing is, very few people you can find in the community that you are doing hard work, but you are not appreciating, you know what? And I am the junior. The people who in the community work, actually, I'm very junior then, and I'm doing continually for philanthropy, voluntarily. Even I am not a citizen. I came from international student, so I never think I am. You know what I mean? I feel I am the person, I can contribute. I have a purpose to live. It doesn't matter I am citizen. It doesn't matter I am British. It matter I am a human. I can do something. I can contribute. So my intention, honestly speaking, create skill excellence online learning platform and bring you here, because skill excellence is diverseness. Everyone has a skill, and every skill we can put on a table. So that way, you are guys, we are BME. We all have certain qualities. Our identity, our heritage. As Nasima always, say, I do all the activity and things. So, doing everything together, he's a full up plate. You have something, I have something, Miknapu have something, Nasimapu, Rotimi, everyone has something. Look, the plate is full. So we need to acknowledge each other effort, contribution, and we think together we can do. And that's why the diversity is power. To me, diversity is power. Of course, and that's the why today I invite you, because this is core to my heart, as you can feel. So as we are diverse, so we need to be celebrative in ourselves and praise each other, the contribution, because here you all are doing community work and all are doing philanthropy volunteer, each of you guys. So I would like to say thank you and congratulate all the diverseness and all your powerful work contribution. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Michaeline Holden March, and I am healthcare. I work in healthcare. I'm also the founder of BAME Health Collaborative, and we have Tanzila, who is a committee lead for BAME Health Collaborative. We have Her Royal Highness Moradian, who's also a committee lead for BAME Health Collaborative, and Professor Rotimi, who is the vice chair of BAME Health Collaborative. I do lots of other stuff as well. But this is not about me. Okay. So we'll go straight to Manara. And Manara, what is the... There is a background noise.
Yeah. I didn't hear anything. There's a lot of disturbance.
Yes.
I think there's a problem with the sound.
Someone's phone is open.
Okay. Is that better? Okay, Manara, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's echoing a lot.
Yes. Okay. Manara, can you tell me the barriers of diversity and inclusion, please?
I can't hear.
Okay. Rotimi, would you like to, Fazana, would you like to try? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, but clear sound is not clear.
Now it's okay, I think. Now okay.
Yeah, now it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, you can hear me clearly now.
Yeah, now we can hear.
Yes.
Okay, that means the problem is our princess sister. Maybe the show is open. My dear sister, princess, can you stop somewhere? It could be on.
There's nothing on at my end.
Okay, so we will go. Oops.
You see?
We'll go to Rotimi.
Yeah.
Rotimi.
Okay.
Rotimi, we'll go straight to Rotimi. Rotimi, could you tell me what you think is the barriers that we face in including languages and diversity in the education setting, in the school setting, and right across education?
Historical. The consideration of a sense of into this nation. English is not the first language, and I'm sure coming to this country some of them had to enroll in language school to understand the English language. But probably now in the third or fourth generation of diverse cultures. And one of the things that we have found is that irrespective of where you have come from, the language of instruction in the United Kingdom is English. And for some reason, some children find it difficult because it's not their very first language, and they have to interpret what is being said in English to their language before they can respond. And this has an effect on the way they communicate or the way they understand things. But we all have to be proud of a language. It's going to be difficult to expect schools or the workplace to accommodate all languages. There are too many of them. But what I would suggest is that as individuals, as families, we should encourage our children to be proud of the language, our language. Teach them, let them know how to speak it. If they can't, let them understand the language. But we've got to respect each other's culture, each other's language. But the common language is English. So if we are going to stay in this country, we must take that extra effort to learn the English language. Not learning the language places us at some disadvantage. For example, if you have to go for a hospital visit, you will require an interpreter. And what you are saying, the interpreter might misinterpret it to the doctor and vice versa. So while we promote diversity in language and culture, we should also encourage people to imbibe the culture of where we reside. Thank you.
Thank you. Farhana, would you like to pick up on that? The question is, we're talking about how we could get language and diversity within, the whole culture and how we live. How do you think we can do that?
Yeah, being someone who was brought up in England, I think first of all we can embed it into our national curriculum. So when we were growing up, we learned about the Roman Empire. We did not learn about Ottoman Empire or the Chinese Empire, and we learned about British values. And then we didn't learn about other cultural values. Diversity is such a wonderful thing. We're all unique and different. I just like to reference a quote. Christians, Jews, Muslims, shamans, Zoroastrians, stone, ground, river, they're all different, unique, and not to be judged. And that was by Rumi, 2007. He was an Islamic scholar, a poet, and a traveler. So he knew what he was talking about. And that quote, like I could emphasize on that quote so much and go in depth. So we need to value society. We need to promote society. We need to embed society in the national curriculum. So children from early age group, from nursery, can learn about different cultures and what it means to be different and be proud of being different. And personally, we can teach our children mother tongue. So I'm Bangladeshi. We speak English in our home, but I am at the same time trying to teach my children Bengali. I even took them on a recent trip, and the amazing transformation of my daughter, like she went to Bangladesh and we stayed. It was during the pandemic time. We were supposed to come back after 3 weeks. Because of our corona test results, we ended up staying for 1.5 months. Both me and my daughter learned so much about the Bangladeshi culture. I practice more on my Bangla, and my daughter, she started learning Bangla. And as soon as she came, it's like she was just like catching up on her work, and her critical thinking was coming out. And she just shone, and like totally different person now, because she's learned another culture, her culture, and her mother tongue, which unfortunately I didn't like teach her right from the beginning, but we're getting there now.
Okay, Thank you so much for that. So I will go across to Philip. Philip, what about you? How do you sort of, foster, your language and your mother tongue? How do you do that in the society?
I think there's what I call the three C's: the culture, the comfort zone, and can do. Obviously, every culture is have their own specialness, and there's a comfort zone that, if you are like the Chinese culture, because a lot of Chinese don't speak English, they want just to be around Chinese people, and that is we need to change the mindset. And some years ago in Luton and Bedfordshire, a number of the uh, takeaways and Chinese restaurant owners said, no, we need to change our attitude. So they together they created a Sunday school in Luton. Actually, I think there's two before the shutdown, and all the owners contribute the paying for that, to also for the children to learn English, and then and also again to learn Chinese, so they appreciate their own culture. But at the same time, the children is then to teach their parents about English. And also the can do is, I think it's important that we gotta have this attitude that we can learn a different language. And also in terms of I also talk about in my teaching about the three A's. You got to create the right atmosphere, a friendly, unthreatening atmosphere, so people want to learn. If you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. And you see, attitude is caught. You can't teach attitude. Attitude is caught. So you need to be surrounding people who's going to say, hey, I'm here to help. I don't care if there's no such thing as a mistake. It's an outcome. If you didn't.
So if you could hold that, because we will come to solutions in a minute. We look at the way forward, but right now we just want to, people are looking on and thinking, how can I be proud of my language? Where can I use it? When can I not use it? Minara, welcome back. And then we will go across. To tell me, when is it okay to use your mother tongue? And do you think it should be controlled, or we should be able to use it whenever we want to?
I think as what you've said about is it okay to use it whenever we want to? I think depending what environment you're in. For example, if it's with your friends and family, or in a situation where it's needed through your work and you need to use your mother tongue to interpret or translate, or it's a form, or it might be to do with a project or work that you're doing. So yes, it is definitely important to use your mother tongue, whatever that may be. It's needed in those situations, in that context. But in some work environments, I've seen in the past that it's when you find there's two people who are of the same tongue, for example, say Bangla or Sylheti, and they're chatting away, and then you have colleagues that are non-Bangladeshi or other, and you can see that discomfort. Are they speaking about me, or what are they talking about? They're just chatting away jolly in their own language. So I think we would just need to be mindful of our environment and where we are. I think that relates a lot. Of course, it would be great if everybody understood everyone's languages, but unfortunately, that's not the case. I think that's where we share our languages. And also, some people are very keen to learn your own language, get to know more about, and that's the beauty of it, where you can share your identity, your language, your culture, your traditions, and your heritage and your roots. So yeah, I think it depends on the context. It really depends on what your situation is, if it's to do with work and your environment, and in the who you're surrounded by as well. So
Thank you. Saida, what would you say in regards to mothers who have their kids and they speak to them in English all the time because of the school environment, and and you know, also because they want to support them in their schoolwork, and it's just continue. But the mother tongue is being lost because they are in the school, they're speaking English, they're, you know, in their social aspect, and then they come home and they converse it. What would you recommend for mothers to do to ensure that we can, you know, preserve this and keep the rich fabric of the mother tongue?
To be honest with you, first of all, I want to remember all these people who have sacrificed their life for mother tongue. You know, we got a strong history about mother tongue. We are the only one country who has to fight for their own mother language, own mother tongue. So we had 1952, we had one big issue that, you know, they fight for their mother tongue, and then so many people were died. So I want to remember them bottom of my heart, and I, with respect, you know, to be honest, I think, you know, as a Bengali, we should teach our children how to speak Bangla fluently, and also we have to talk to them in Bangla at home, especially when we got chance to talk to them, communication with them. And also another in our community, and especially our all these schools, we had one opportunity to take GCSE and A levels in Bangla, but unfortunately because of budget cut, you know, 2019, I think our current mayor, and they decide to cut budget, cut CLL budget. That's why our children can't take any GCSE in from the state schools. So I'm fighting for that. You know, the last cabinet meeting I was there, and also full meeting I was there. But what I'm trying to say, this is very important, children to learn their you know, our children, they born brought up this country, and their first language is English, obviously, and second language should be Bangla. You know, I'm talking about my language. Maybe other people got like Spanish, Germany, Mandarin, Chinese, Arabic. So everyone should put first priority as a second language, in their own language, own mother tongue, because kids 24/7, look, since last March, our kids is with me, with us, isn't it? So they have to, most of the time they have to communicate with their mother, their relative, their cousins, their father. So I don't know why, even though, you know, our you know, the national curriculum policy, they said kids should learn state languages, especially if it's their mother language. So why our schools are so, they never encourage our children to learn their own mother tongue, especially Bangla. So this is very upsetting. So I always fight for
I
our own.
I can tell
Yeah.
your passion there. I can tell. I will go across to Her Royal Highness Princess Meridian Adedoyin Stolorin. This is such, you know, it's important. Even in the African culture, we have all the different tribes, and they have, and you know, from West Africa, East Africa, there's so many different languages.
Yes.
Can you tell us, you know, what do you see as the value in preserving that heritage?
It's so important to me. Thank you so much, Ms. Michaelin. First and foremost, I always say nobody can tell the story of a place or a people except the main actors. You cannot know the history of any group of persons if, one, you do not speak their language. Their language is the mode of communication. And back in Africa, in ancient times, we have, and we still have it, what we called oral history, whereby history was passed down from generation to generation through language, through the use of language. Sadly, when the colonials came to Africa, our languages were barred. In fact, it was criminal for you to speak your language. Your language was now labeled vernacular, which to me, as somebody in media, I just found that really preposterous. But when I grew up, I'm like, Vernacular really means a foreign language. So the African languages were labeled foreign to the natives, and for me, I just felt, I can totally feel the passion of the speaker before me, because the way that, especially parents, the best way to bring up your children, or if you have children that are not yours but that you're also looking after, the best way is communication. How do we communicate? Language is so important. It's a part of our identity, and identity is key in the lives of any human person on the face of the earth. Without your identity, you're totally lost. One of the great Pan-African fathers, he said, I'm talking about Marcus Garvey now, where he really hit the nail on the head when he said, a people without knowledge of their history or from whence they came are like a tree without roots. And I usually add, they will surely die. And we can look around us and see that when it comes to language and language culture, a lot of people are dying, as it were, because the language is being watered down or totally stripped off, which I believe is not right. Communication is very key, as I say. I continue to repeat that. The ability to understand each other is so, so important. If I don't understand you and you don't understand me, we might come to the beginning of World War III.5, if you catch my drift. So language is very important for communication and so important for identity, particularly in the life that we live now. I call it #COVID life. You need to be able to communicate effectively so that information is exchanged or passed appropriately without it getting mixed up or lost along the way. And when it comes to children, young people and youths, my Jove, they need their mother tongue. There's a reason why it is called mother tongue. It's the English language that calls it mother tongue. If it was not important, they won't call it mother tongue. We've got Mother Earth, Mother this, Mother, anything that's of so much importance to the human being will have the prefix mother in front of it. So this is a mother of all discussions, and I'm really enjoying this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. As we said that, if someone could, if you put their please. Thank you. It's so important what we just said, because if you think about it, if someone is born in Liverpool, they're so proud to say I'm a Liverpoolian, because you can hear that it may not be a different language as English, but there's a different accent to that. But I'm just gonna put a little bit of salt in this discussion, because I'm gonna come back to Professor Rotimi Jaisiri, who talk about the hospitals. I think that hospitals should have enough translators, in at least most of the languages, to facilitate people instead of drowning them to expect them to know English. After all, we all pay taxes. We all contribute to community development. And I believe that we should run some culturalism projects in the hospital where healthcare professionals can know about moi moi and a bit of Bangladeshi food and everything. So why can't we do something different in hospitals to accommodate the local demographics? So if you have a hospital in an area that is predominantly Bangladeshi, why it is you can't have people who are there to do the translation? Come on, let me know what you think, Professor Rotimi, because I am passionate about this.
Yeah, you have put me on the spot. I will rise up to the occasion with some gravitas. In Nigeria alone, that's one country. You've got about over 200 languages, whether you want to say tribal or ethnic languages in Nigeria. So that's just one country out of about 190 countries in the world. It's going to be very difficult for the National Health Service to be able to provide translators or interpreters for every language. but I must commend the effort of the NHS. They have translating services. Patients will not be seen if there are no translators. Patient information leaflets are now being printed in different languages. The journey has started. It's a marathon, but I'm sure we will get there. Again, with telemedicine now, previously you had the interpreter who had to leave her own home and come to the patient with the patient to the hospital. But with telemedicine now, you can pick up the telephone and do an audio visual interpreting consultation. But like I said, you put me on the spot, but I think with Gravitas, what I'll say is the NHS is looking into it. There are languages being spread within the NHS on patient information leaflets. We do respect people's languages and culture, but it's a gradual process, and I think we will get there.
And I agree, but however, I do. I've been saying, and BHC is going to be looking at sort of, and I hope you will join us in a petition for this. That in the community, in each of the community groups and ethnic groups, that we have trained healthcare representatives of that language, more than one, so that when the elderly or someone is going to the hospital, that they will accompany that person, because they represent the community and they could actually help them to when, especially when they're given a diagnosis as well, that they will be able to translate and support them. So I think it's a bit of community development. It's a bit of spending. We don't have the money, but I think having healthcare representatives within each community group will be a great margin and showing a commitment to support community groups. So let's go across. We'll go across to you now, Minara. We have a very important question that I'm going to ask you, because I know you're doing a lot of work right across the board with communities and all of that. And we don't have much time, but I just want you to tell us in your own way, what do you think that could be done better in regards to, we actually respecting each other language, working together, bringing it much more unified. What do you think we could do better?
Just unmuted myself. I thought you were going to put me on the spot like you did the professor. But it's fine. It's fine. No, what could we do better? And I think everybody's said different aspects of everything. What could we do better? Have representatives, as you've said, from each community, each social background coming together and partnership working. This is the only way. If you're working in the community, if we're doing a lot of projects and work in the community, whatever sector it might be, it could be the community sector, it could be health and social care, or whatever, education and other. It's about coming together. It's about having good role models, good mentoring, coaching. So I think mentoring is very important, because you bring all those aspects in, and then you're so culturally diverse. And how can you not be progressive? It's only way forward when you come together, as partnerships. And I think a lot of communities are doing that, in different parts of just not only London, outside of London. And it's very obvious, as look how diverse we are here as well, so like Tanzila's brought us all together as well. So yes, definitely representatives, coming together, forums, different forums, building a forum where we can come together and see how we can work together and, put our culture there, put our identity out there, and also get young people involved as well. Because I know children, making children aware, especially the generation now where the language, as Saeed has said, and as Her Royal Highness have said, it's being diluted and we're losing a lot of our language, where it's easier just to communicate in English because of the education curriculum and everything. But I think if we continue to speak when we get the opportunity with our children, or with children that we're working with, or young people that we're working with, and keep that active, but coming together and working on different platforms to be aware and progress bring projects together, definitely we can only progress and do things better.
I'm going to ask Philip and Her Royal Highness about media, because they are media giants in their own right. And I do believe that media has a significant role to play. So, Philip, before we're coming down to the crunch time here, but I just wanted you to tell us just very briefly, because time is cutting into the show. Tell me how the media can help in regards to promoting the mother tongue.
I think the media is just look at our differences and appreciate the differences, but also, appreciate our uniqueness. Also, I think there's the practical and the ideal. I'm going to professing with all the modern technology as an interim. It'd be great to have schools to have the apps that can actually do the translation, but also you can't beat someone who can actually speak the language. But in terms of the practicality, technology is going to help us to make a difference in a stepping stone. And with all the modern technology, I think if we can introduce the app in the hospital, courts, schools, in case that we don't have a translator, but that's an interim. Yes, coming out of the media has got to look at to break down the stereotype image.
Okay, so we don't have much time, so we'll go around the room. But before we go, Her Royal Highness Princess Muradin, could you tell us just very briefly about how we can use the media?
Thank you so much, Michael. Media is so important. I always say media is the new science, and I'll say that again. Media is the new science. Before this, it was medical science or other disciplines that pointed to where the world is going. But these days, all other industries and all other professionals need media to put whatever it is that they want to sell or to propagate in the laps of media. So media needs to wake up, particularly media within our BAME community. We need to do this because nobody's going to do it for us. And I believe we need to encourage mothers, in particular parents, to speak the language to their children. If you're a grandma like myself, I speak it to my granddaughter. It might sound a bit funny to them at first, but you know what? Children are like sponges. They quickly soak up things. So if we have it as part of us to start even little things like hello, thank you, please, goodbye, I love you, that will go a very long way. And after a while, the brain is a very important part of the body. And children will embrace that and take it with them through their lives. That's what I would say. And thank you very much for having me.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go. We are just down by 3 minutes, so I'm gonna go around the room. Farhana, I love Rumi. I was so glad that you mentioned him. I was handed his book when I was 18, and it goes on. So I'm just gonna go around the room here and leave the last 2 minutes for Tanzila. So I'm gonna go around the room and ask you to give us just one sentence or a few words of where to go next. What's the next step? Farhana, what's the next step for us? This must not end it.
It's a great question because of the pandemic. Everything is changing. Cyber world, global village. The next step is just to be proud. First of all, know your identity. Be proud. Hold it with grace. And then continue teaching it to the next generation so that your mother tongue, your identity doesn't disappear along the run.
Thank you. Sahida, what is your words, your words to give people, that strength to sort of start speaking their mother tongue?
Yes, thank you. And, you said about media. I think media can play big roles in our community to establish our cultural diversity or cultural activities, and especially for mother tongues. And other things I want to say, my language is Bangla, and Bangla is the sweetest language in the world, and also 5th largest language in the world. So think about it, how sweet this language is, how how come we can forget this language? So I really appreciate today's program, and you are taking the very big step today, and you are doing very well. I want to especially give you thank you for your nice presentation, and also I want everyone to respect their own language and teach their children. And especially like when we teach our children, we can teach like normal, like basic way, but when they learn from education sector like school, private, the center, the community center, or any community organization from any then they learn more, because they got enough resource materials. They know how to teach. Do you understand what I mean? I know as a parents, my
you
daughter,
so much.
she got,
I love
my
what you
daughter,
say, but
let me tell you something, because I know Bangla, I'm very passionate about Bangla. My daughter got double A star last year from Central Foundation. Yes. I'm so proud. This year my son is taking GCSE as well. That from
we all
his
give
school,
her a
only
clap
one
if she's
child.
watching.
Yeah, only one
Yes.
child is taking this year GCSE. Only my child, no one else. I said, no, I want my son to take GCSE in Bangla. And also his other grades are so, mashallah, very high. But still, I want him to get A star, double A star in Bangla. So think
Thank you so
about it.
much.
So
We are pressed for time.
Thank
So
you so
thank you
much.
so much for that.
Thank you.
Rotimi, I know I threw you in the spot, but what can the men in the family, because in the BAME community, the men play a very important role. So what would you say to the men out there now to help to support the family structure in really retaining the mother
That's
tongue?
important.
Well, effective communication is important. As men in the house, we should promote the use of mother tongue. Now, there are some things you say in your mother tongue that you cannot translate into English, and that is why it is very, very important that we teach our children our mother tongue, and if possible, in the community where we live. If it's a small, close-knit community, make sure we spread that language as well. Let us be proud of the language. That's my message. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And so we are coming to the end. Thank you all for being here. I'd like to thank Professor Rotimi for being here, Professor Rotimi Jaisimi for being here, Saida Nasima for being here, Menara Megnan Udin for being here, Her Royal Highness Moradiun Ediun Solarin for being here, Fahana Salmon for being here, Philip Chan for being here. And before we hand over to who is the co-founder about Skill Excellence, you must like the Skill Excellence button. I just want to say to you, be proud of who you are. Wear your cultural wear. Wear your cultural wear. Speak your language. I would love to learn another language. Speak your language in your community. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Promote your uniqueness. Don't let it be eroded from your society and your community. English may bind us all together, but however, the differences in all of us will make us so much more happier, and we'll be able to contribute better to a more rounded society. So, Tanzila, the last few minutes is all yours.
Thank you. You had a wonderful role at the moment. Thank you, sister. So beautiful host. Also, Farhana as another host. Thank you, and I want to see you again. I love to see again and again. So all I want to say, thank you for be present here and sharing your thoughts. Nice inspirational speech. I'm grateful, all of you. So for me, I lots of love to you. And the one sentence, as you said, what will be next step? So for myself, I feel we need to start from home. As a parents, this is our vital duty, potential duty. It's me, it's mom, it's dad, okay? So if we don't teach, if we don't encourage, how my child will know? So I think start from home. Feel proud as a parent, who you are, let them help, let them feel proud, who they are. If you show the proudness, they will adopt, they will absorb. And as someone said, I forget, someone said a sponge, child are a sponge. I think Princess Highness, maybe. Child are a sponge, so they take everything, okay? So if we do, they will follow us. So start from home. We need to feel proud who we are with our culture, identity, and they will follow us. We'll leave a legacy. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Have a happy Sunday.
Have a clap for
You
each
too.
one. Have a clap for each other.
So much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. It was lovely meeting everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Farnapu. Thank you.
Bye, Tanzila. Bye, Tanzila.
Bye.
Bye, Makela. Happy International Mother's Day, Tongue Day to you. Bye-bye. Till the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We had wonderful session, discussion, and I am so humble to Mikalini sister, also all the guests, the Rotimi, Farhana, Meghna Apu, Nasima Apu, also Princess Highness, Madam, all sister Nasima Apu, Farhana Apu. Thank you and thank you, thank you. All of you, you made my beautiful day. I'm so thankful and humble. All of you who loves me at the time, every time you are, appreciating my work, and I'm humble, I'm grateful. This remarkable day, I would like to say, please spread your love, your identity to your child, okay? Next generation. Then they will follow you, save the legacy. Thank you. Have a good evening and good night. Bye-bye.